Oh, that one came out. I watched the wake from behind it. That was crazy. That was so cool. Welcome back, everybody. So today we're doing out a little bit of finesse fishing and topwater. This is one of those crazy baits that I had bought from Japan. It's called I believe it's Tiemco Critter Tackle. Basically, it's just a topwater mouse. Crazy looking bait, and the packaging looks like it's a cartoon essentially. Just really, really different. We're going to be pairing it up with just a number 2 EWG. I've got some smaller EWGs, but I think the hook gap on this one's needed. But yeah, really, really light topwater fishing. I'm excited for this one. Should be fun. If we get into a big fish, I don't have high hopes of getting it back, but I guess you never know. So we'll have to play that one by ear. But let's get after it. So this bait is interesting. It's definitely not like a normal plastic that you find in most American baits. And the number 2 hook, probably a little bit overkill because it has a ginormous hook slot in the bottom of it. So it does still hide it pretty well, but I probably could have gotten away with something a little bit lighter. And I don't know how well this thing floats, but let's test her out. So it does float. It's a little bit nose down, but not awful from just that weight of that eye of that hook, but she does float, so I don't know how well you can see that, but all right, let's see what we can get into. Hopefully we don't lose too many of these. All right, try and stay in as much open water as possible. Doesn't cast too bad. I don't know how much it weighs, but it's not very much. It's definitely not an 1/8, maybe a 1/16. It walks pretty well. Tiny little twitches, otherwise you're popping it out of the water. Tiny twitches. But not too bad though. I guess if you're trying to do a finesse approach, definitely decent. Oh, that was better. It does walk back and forth quite well. I feel like we're gonna have a decent sized fish smoke this thing and have quite the time trying to get it in. Sun up still. Fish are probably a little bit more in the lily pit. Just kidding. Thought they'd be a little bit more in the lily pads than they are in the open water. Can we get them through these? There we go. He's a small one. Came unglued on it. Well, if you're bass fishing for some smaller fish, or you got a pond that doesn't have real big fish in it, this might be a very viable option. Was that second cast? And these hooks are also from Japan, but these things are wildly sharp. I'm gonna have to get pliers on this. Which seems crazy in a single hook bait, but we'll get some pliers and get them undone. Well, there we go. First fish, second cast. That hook stuck insanely well. I guess another thing to try and figure out for this bait is how long is it going to last with whatever type of rubber or plastic this is. But that one had clearly hooked up very, very well. On the ultralight. Too much fun. Let's see if we can't get another one in that same spot. Oh, that was a better one. That was definitely bigger than that one we just missed. Or we just caught. Come on. Must be stacked in there. Get him. Just sitting there. Little baby bass. Look at that. Perfect. I don't know that I've ever caught this small of fish on topwater. We are back at the mini pond. Hoping to catch a few more fish, a little bit bigger than what we were catching there. We should, average size should be a little bit bigger than 8 inches like the other place, so. See if we can't catch a few more. Oh, got one. Right when I was twitching it. All right, we were supposed to be catching bigger ones. We were catching smaller ones. Look how light and pale that one is. The water clarity is like legitimately 5-6 inches. So fish out of this lake should be much more pale. Oh, that one came out. I watched the wake from behind it. That was crazy. That was so cool. He came from a ways. It's not a big one, but it's definitely bigger than anything else we've caught. There we go. Somehow, I have to get the pliers out for this one. I don't know how, but we hooked them twice. Yeah, I might have to get the pliers out. Maybe not. Nope. There we go. Not a big one, but a little bit over a pound, I bet. That was so much fun. I saw a fish wake, and I didn't know if it was that one or not, and then saw the wake come behind it like a shark and absolutely explode on it. That was awesome. See if we can't get 1 or 2 more like that. Oh, I missed that one. That was a good one too. Oh, they're just loaded there. Get him. That's a small one. Come on, buddy. Oh, I'll have to get him unhooked. Got it down a little bit deeper. There, we'll let him go. Should be fine. What are you? How tiny? Too tiny. If you have a tiny pond and still want to fish topwater, this might be the bait for you. I don't think I've ever caught 5-6 inch bass on a topwater lure. How small are you? Is that a bluegill? What are you? Holy cow. Oh, he swam with it all the way. I don't even think he was ever hooked. I don't think he was ever hooked. Swam with it all the way to shore. That's crazy. Get him. Get off that rock. That's not a bad one. Oh. Are you a better one? No, not a big one. Not a big one, not a bad one. A little bit smaller than the biggest we caught today. It might be the last one for today. We'll have to fish for a little bit longer, but it's slowed down quite a bit. See if we can't get another one off that rock. There he is. Knew there'd be another one there. I bet there's probably even one or two more. Oh. He just started swimming really fast. I thought he got off. That's a little bit better one. That is a better one. That might be. That's close to. That's definitely 1.5 pounds. That is possibly one of the biggest fish we caught on an ultralight. It's getting dark, but I say we keep fishing. Got him. What are you, little guy? We're done. It's getting dark out. Look at that. That's not what, ow. That's not what bit before. A crappie on a topwater mouse. That's insane. It's a little dark to see, but we'll do our best in editing so you can show that off. That's pretty neat though. Well, we caught plenty of fish. Caught 1 or 2 decent ones. Probably the biggest that I have ever caught under on this rod, which is pretty cool. But I absolutely love this bait. We'll probably show it off a little bit more another day, just when there's a little bit more sunlight. But I do like this a lot, and it clearly catches fish. So it's later tonight. We fished out into the dark and kept catching fish, but you couldn't really see anything on camera, so there wasn't really much point in trying to make anything out of it. As far as this bait goes, this thing for finesse topwater is, in my opinion, like phenomenal. I mean, as you guys saw, like, caught the smallest fish. So if you're in a pond that's got like absolutely tiny fish, you don't have the opportunity for, you know, anything over 1 pound, I would say this is probably one of the best options you can throw for a topwater bait. And as far as durability goes with this thing, typically with Japanese baits, they don't seem to usually have the greatest durability, but this thing held together super well. It's really stretchy. Again, I think it's somewhat similar to the Aztec. So I would be careful putting this with any other sort of plastic because it may melt it. But usually you don't really get the durability from these Japanese lures, and this has done phenomenally. I mean, it still looks pretty similar to when it started. The eyes kind of rubbed off on it a little bit, but beyond that, it still works perfectly. Really fun to fish with. You probably could have gone with a little bit smaller hook. I think this one was just a little bit heavy for what it was. Probably should have gone to a number 4 EWG. And with that big old hook slot that it has in its belly, it probably would have done perfectly well and swam a little bit better. With that being such a small bait, it's so easy to overwork. So actually swimming it or walking the dog was not the easiest. But after like messing around with it for a little while, it got to, I mean, it's pretty easy to pick up. But initially there was a little bit of trial and error as far as that goes. But again, if you guys like the video, if you wouldn't mind liking, and as always, if you want to see more videos like it, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that'd be greatly appreciated also. Till the next one.